Dodsons Racing Insider News with Scott Allen. Another night, and this is going to be a good show tonight. I'm going to tell you right now before we get started, it's going to be a good show. We're going to start off with a little NASCAR news. Mr. Allen?
Little NASCAR news. What about Kurt Busch? Come back 2 weeks in a row. He's finished in the top three because he was third last week, third this week. I think he should have won the race.
I think he thinks he should have won it too.
Yeah. I mean, and great for him. I'm happy for him because he's ran well. I didn't expect him to come back like he has.
And then he's going to Martinsville where he won last year.
Yeah.
So that's a big deal for them to be.
And I think the communication with him and Tony Gibson is working well because those guys have done well since they've been paired together.
Did you see him on the box?
Yeah, he was.
I'm too old for this.
Yeah.
It was cool, but he was doing beyond what I thought was going to happen when he come back. I thought it'd take him a little while to get. And he's running, and I see where him and Kevin Harvick together are a pretty formidable team because they were running Harvick.
They turned out to be a great match.
Yeah, they worked out good, and I ain't gonna say a whole lot about the 10 car, but it had Harvick's setup in it, but it didn't do very well. But all four Stewart Haas cars were in the top 20, so that's a good thing for me.
Yeah, and Tony, he ended up
14th.
Was it okay?
He ended up 14th.
But he ran better than that, I believe.
Well, no, he didn't run better than that. He made the comment that he said we were anywhere from a 15th to 25th car in the race. They didn't go in on the last pit stop. They stayed out with Jeff. Everybody stayed out. Well, they stayed out. And he said, I ended up 14th. I ended up gaining some spots as far as he's concerned.
Oh, really?
So he said he was happy with that. Jeff fell back to 10th. From where he was running during the course of the day, I don't think he would have been in the top 10 at the end of the race. So he got a top 10 out of it, which is good for him. So it was interesting. It was an interesting race. And I'm going to tell you something. That head of steam Keselowski had on that last lap, he was flat coming. Come on, no doubt about it. They were not going to.
I can't believe Kurt didn't make it a lot harder on him.
Well, I think Kurt, when he hit the wall, when he drove in there that last lap, he hit that wall, or lap before the lap, he just didn't. I don't think he had anything.
Yeah.
I don't think he had anything for him.
And what about Harvick? I mean, this dude is on a streak.
8 straight, 1 or 2 finishes.
Yeah, top 2 finish.
That's unbelievable.
I guess the King did it.
During the season, he had 11.
It was 11, so it was 10 or 12 or something like that. So, yeah, crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Martin Truex, he's already matched all the top 10s he's ran for all of last year. I mean, those guys are running well. That whole Childress affiliation seems to have stepped up.
Allmendinger's 11th in points, and he's had a better season than what he had in that last race. But the guys that had the Childress tie are having a great season. I mean, they're having great seasons, and mostly the Childress cars are too. Newman's having a good year. Bernard, I think, is in the top 20 in points.
No, he's actually I looked a while ago. I think he's like 9th or 10th or something. He hasn't really.
But he hasn't been
last week. I think he finished. I don't know, finished in the top 10. I can't remember.
I think he did, but I can't remember.
And I think
but he's one of those guys that's kind of quiet. You never hear about what he does, But he's pretty good, and the only car in that organization that I don't see
hasn't performed
is the 3 car.
Yeah.
But then again, he's a new guy, so you never can tell what may happen as season rolls on.
Yeah, and that becomes a factor. And the resources there.
Yeah, they're unbelievable, so they're good.
Roush Fenway.
3 drivers, 1 top 10 finish out of, let's say you look at 15 starts among them for 5 races.
1 top 10.
1 top 10.
Who was it?
And Biffle. Biffle did it. Was it Vegas? I think it was Biffle in Vegas.
Yeah, I think so. And they used to do well at Vegas.
And they asked Biffle after the qualifying Saturday, or Friday, excuse me, after the qualifying. What's going on? He said, this is totally unacceptable. We cannot do this. He said, Roush Fenway is doing a slow death.
That's big coming from your.
And that's your lead driver.
Right.
Saying that.
I mean, if he doesn't have the confidence, how is, the other two supposed to.
And Trevor Banks said, he would be more concerned about his performance if it wasn't the fact that all three of them are having the same problem.
Right.
And he's running just as good as the other two. So it's not his performance, it's the team's performance.
Right.
And they've got to put it together. But when you have your lead driver saying, look, we're doing a slow death here, and that's Roush Fenway.
I know, and those guys they haven't really peaked except a few years ago, haven't done that well. And I don't know if something's going on behind the scenes that we don't see. I mean, I never thought Carl would leave, which I could understand. Sometimes you need a change.
Well, I think you can go all the way back to when Mark Martin left.
It seems to be a different feel.
It's kind of had a change ever since then. And then you had Matt Kenseth to leave. He was the next guy. And then you got.
And that's somebody you never thought would leave Roush.
And then Carl Edwards. And, because him and Robbie Reiser were tight.
Right. Well,
for years.
He owes everything to Robbie Reiser. If it wasn't for Robbie, he would never be where he's at.
And now he's gone. And,
is Robbie still there?
Robbie's still there. He's director of competition. But it's just not working at all for them at all. In Trevor Bain and Stenhouse, they're not even close. And then you got the two Penske Fords that are above and beyond everything else.
Yeah, those guys are on fire.
And then the two Petty cars, if they can keep Sam Hornish out of the wall.
That was a surprise to me.
Eric Almirola.
He's 10th in points.
He's 10th in points, and he's one of those steady guys and just keeps right on going. And he's gonna pop up and do something for the end of the year. But
those guys have a Roush affiliation. They don't have an affiliation with
no,
Penske.
not anymore. They have Penske.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Since when?
The Wood brothers and Petty switched over to Penske.
Now I know Wood brothers did, but I'm not so sure about Petty's.
Yeah, they did too.
Because they talked to.
We'll have Trent Owens on the show next week.
We'll get to Skinny.
We'll get to Skinny on it, but I'm almost positive that they went with the Penske.
I'm pretty sure not, because I believe it wasn't Trent. Who's the other crew chief for the 9? They were talking to him, and he says, "Look, we've asked him for help, but we have an affiliation with Roush, not with him, so we understand."
Well,
they're asking him to give us something, but
let's get it from Trent next week and say.
I
could be wrong. I could be wrong. I've been wrong before.
Right. So I mean,
but for some reason I remember them, and I know the Woods did it because I talked to the people at Woods before that.
Well, yeah, because they got.
Before it even happened, I knew what was coming down with that. But
because they got Ryan Blaney.
And that's a
true affiliation for sure.
Yeah, that's official Penske driver. So
yeah. Martinsville installing some tire barriers. I'm not sure where they're going to be.
The only thing I can think of, it's got to be in the turns. In the turns, you jump over the.
Although I never would think to see cars hit the wall there, but we've seen cars hit the wall everywhere that we've never seen them hit before.
The thing now is they're saying wherever there's a wall, there needs to be a safe barrier somewhere on, and that's the way they're going to cover it. And speaking of Martinsville, Friday when we get to Martinsville, or when I get to Martinsville, I got to try one of these new hot dogs.
Oh yeah.
I'm a little disappointed.
How many year tradition is this?
I'm a little disappointed. I mean, I know Mike Smith, he could be watching this, but, I'm hoping what they tell us is true. It ain't going to be no change. But I'm going to miss that red hot dog, man.
Well, I think they're still going to be red, I believe.
Well, from what the picture
I don't know if they're going to be born that way. That's what Mike told us last time.
We'll see what happens. I'm good. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to find me a Martinsville hot dog and try it. Well, and I'll give you a critique on it next week.
Yeah, see how good it was. Yeah. Now, where do you go for dinner at Martinsville when you go to Martinsville?
Oh, we're going to start this again.
You go to Clarence's?
I've been to Clarence's.
There goes the Clarence's.
Most of the time it's Clarence's. My son don't like Clarence's. He says that's where we eat every time. He gets tired of going there every time. So
well, it's close to home, so he's ate there a lot.
Yeah, so he don't. So now he says, where you going to eat? I say Clarence. He says, I'm going home. He said, you go to Clarence's. And he likes Clarence's, but he's man, I don't want to go there.
Is it Jimmy's Buffet or not Buffet, the steak and seafood place? They've got a good seafood.
Yeah.
We go over there sometimes for the seafood.
And there's a steak place that I went to the last time I was there.
Is it up by the mall?
No, this is down almost into town. It's a steak place. It used to be an old Golden Corral, and they turned it into a steak place. Best steak I've ever ate was there.
You sure it ain't near by the mall?
No, it's not near the mall. I know where the mall is. This is another place. It used to be an old Golden Corral that my uncle used to run that Golden Corral years ago. And when I pulled up in the driveway in the parking lot, I said, I've been here before. But yeah.
Yeah, sometimes we'll go to the Texas Steakhouse, which is over by the mall, and then across the street there they got a steakhouse, and then they have a breakfast buffet there in the morning, which is pretty good to go over there in the morning to get breakfast.
Man, I'm hungry now.
But Lawrenceville should have food at the meetings. I don't know what kind of breakfast they have. I know they have hot dogs, but I gotta talk to somebody because they put onions on them. So I'm gonna get somebody to give me something without onions.
Yeah, they put everything on them there.
I know they're already. I'm gonna go get.
They already bring
everything already on them.
No, they do breakfast over there.
They do
in the morning. Yeah, I've been there a couple times for breakfast. Yeah, I mean, last time I was calling you trying to get you out of bed, but
sometimes we have a beauty sleep we have to get to.
You need to spend a couple more months in there.
And poor Vickers. I mean,
3 more months of this blood clot thing, and I'm not sure where we're.
9, 8, 5, 3, 0, 9.
My bookkeeper.
Hold on, I don't know.
No, that was my phone disconnected to it.
Oh, that was your phone?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I feel bad for the guy. I mean, he's a young guy. I don't know what could cause blood clots or where they come from or how you accumulate them or something he's taken or maybe some people.
Same one.
Yeah. You know, maybe some people stay on blood thinners and that's how they police it. But I don't, you know.
And you can't.
He's a young guy. He's not that old. How old is Brian? 30?
30 something. But he can't, they say you can't drive on blood thinners.
Well.
And so it's going to be interesting to say. And I did, I knew he had the heart surgery and everything in December. That's, and coming back as fast as he did from a heart surgery.
Yeah,
it kind of tends to me, and
the blood clots were already in his lungs. But that's dangerous.
Yeah. And the thing about it is, I had heart surgery when I was 6 years old. So I have a little knowledge about the heart surgery situation. Mm-hmm. Coming back that fast and trying to, it can lead to other problems if you come back because the body doesn't react to it as good. So, But I wish him the best. I mean, I would like to see him come back. I'd like to see him be out there in the car. But it looks like it's going to be 3 months, and who knows what's going to happen in the next 3 months. I mean, we don't know what the thing, and to me, Michael Waltrip Racing's in a state of flux in a way because they're not performing the way they should. And hopefully, that'll work out where Vickers will get back and everything will work out for the two teams. But we don't know. We just don't know.
Yeah, he didn't sound very confident.
Yeah, I don't think
in his media center when they were talking to him, he just didn't sound that confident.
I think he's really concerned about where this is going to lead because this is the third time that he's had the blood clot situation. So it'll be interesting.
Yeah, and just to be so young. And like you said, it's not that he can't drive. It's just if for some reason he gets in an accident or gets hurt, it would be very easy for him to bleed out because his blood is not going to clot and stop a leak per se. So it's a safety reason that NASCAR won't allow.
And it is a wise decision to do that.
Sure, absolutely.
It's a wise decision. But Brett Moffitt, I think, is a good driver, good upcoming driver. I think he'll do well.
He has done well.
I think he'll keep progressing. But how about the job Chris Buescher did in the front row motorsports car?
Man, he just keeps impressing me.
Yeah, he's good. I mean, there's no doubt about it. I mean, the first time being in a cup car at a place like California,
Last minute, just thrown in there.
5 hours before the start, 5 hours before the start of practice, that's when he finds out he's good in the car. And that's really, to come out with a top 20. He come out with a top 20. And that's unbelievable.
Yeah, I mean, the kid just keeps impressing me.
So I think he's solidifying himself. But then again, I sent him a text message and congratulate, because I've talked to him several times. Send him a text message. Now we'll see what you got when you get to Martinsville.
Is he going to be in the car?
He's going to be in Martinsville. Moffitt's going to be in the 55.
Yeah, because they still had Moffitt listed as the driver of both in the entry list.
That was released today sometime that they were going to do that. So.
But yeah, that kid just keeps, and he's a really nice kid. He's very quiet.
Yeah, I tried to get him riled up from time to time. I can't even get him riled up. So.
I mean, he has done a great job. But if he has a couple more good runs like that in the Cup car, I'm not going to be surprised that he wouldn't be a permanent fixture in that car.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, we kind of talked because that's David Reagan's sort of ride.
Mm-hmm.
I think David had a good run going until he sort of got in a little argument with Jeff there.
Yeah, Jeff.
And it was pretty early in the race when that happened too.
Jeff let it be known that if he wasn't going to get out of his way, he was going to make it hard for him the rest of the day. And that one time shot him for the rest of the day. But
yeah.
It's kind of like the arena racing. I understand there was a situation in arena racing where there's a guy up there that was, if you didn't get out of his way, he was going to take you out. So I don't know if that's true or not because I wasn't there, but I'm going on here to say.
Well, I'll tell you from the horse's mouth. I was told a few people that I hit everything but the pace car. That they wanted me to go out there and hit the pace car because that way I could be perfect.
Yeah, we want you to be perfect. We really do want you to be perfect.
I did hit everything. I was not in a good mood. But man, I can't believe. And we were so excited too because the car was really good the first 15, 20 laps and I got under a 71 car off of 4 and I tried to let her know that I was there. She came down. Maybe I should have, looking back, maybe I should just let her go and try to get her in the next corner because we were obviously faster than her, but I didn't. I was just one of them days. I drove it in there. I drove it down on the concrete. I don't even know if I lifted. Drove it right past her into the wall, and our tow was like, I mean, I even had a fan under one of the red flags that waved me, got my attention, and told me my tires are like this, that I'm done, the car is broke. And I kept waving on, no, we're all right, because I literally had to turn it a whole turn to go in the corner when normally we just doing this, and still come home fought for third on the white flag lap. How, I have no idea. People were coming over to me and were like, I don't know who was driving that car tonight. Well, you were wheeling it. But we did, so it kind of made it a little better, and I'm sure it had to be super entertaining for the fans.
Oh yeah, I'm sure you've put on a good show for them.
Yeah, my brother was a little mad. He says I owe him some graphics.
Well, if you're going to be out there and you're going to race in this business.
Well, if you're going to race in arena racing, your stuff's going to get screwed up. But Jeff, I am sorry, but it's arena racing. It's tough. But we have a lot of fun. I mean, arena racing, it is definitely fun. It's definitely a contact sport for sure.
Trying to get Jack McNally the car.
Sure.
Jack, how you doing? This is Jack Dodson with Jack Dodson's Insider Racing News. How you doing tonight?
I'm sorry, how many minutes?
This is Jack Dodson with Jack Dodson's Racing Insider Racing.
I'm sorry, I can't. switch up so that I can't tell who it is.
This is Jack Dodson from the Jack Dodson Insider Racing News. You're supposed to call in at 7:15.
Okay, yeah, now I got you, Jack.
Yeah, we had a plane going over, so that's probably why you couldn't hear us. So you want to explain who Jack is?
All right, we got Jack McNally, who is the proprietor of the Cars Racing Series. Jack, you made a lot of changes in the series this year. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, we did. For 3.5 years, I tried to get the Pro Cup Series back to the way it was in the years of the Hooters sponsorship, and I just couldn't do it. Just couldn't get the cars out, and naturally, without cars, you don't have things. And so it just became obvious that we needed to change direction, and Playful Stocks did not have a touring series. The UAR closed up in, I believe it was 2013.
Yeah.
Playful Stocks did not have a touring series at all in 2014. And the Super League Balls did have a touring series, but there was some discontent, and some of the owners came to me, and they knew that we were struggling on the Pro Cup side, and they said to me, why don't you put it out there as an alternative and run Super League Balls? And so after enough coaxing, if you will, I decided that we would do it, and so we just decided to offer both the League Ball stocks and the Super League.
I was looking at the schedule. You've got a pretty good schedule. You got some good tracks to race on. So it looks like you're going in the right direction with it. And I was looking at how many people that have registered in or whatever on your website. You've got some pretty good drivers coming into that series.
Oh my goodness, I'm telling you, we're talking, we're hunting people. I mean, the folks that we have there going to compete both on the League Ball and the Super League Ball side, they're kind of like producers. I am just so fickle. We've got household names on both sides. And the people that's going to come and watch our race and pay $20 there are going to be entertained. I can promise you that.
And it looks like it's going to be really interesting with the late models and the super late models. And I can see where you were the Pro Cup Series. It just did after the Hooters thing went on and everything that happened there. It just kind of faded out. And I went to one race after that, and the car turned out. I think this is going to be super huge for you guys.
Well, for Italy, coming up here at Southern Nationals Saturday night, we just closed out on our entry. Deadline was at 4 o'clock this afternoon, and we're sitting with 65 entries.
Goodness, that's pretty good. That is really good.
That's a great start.
And you got some, and you're gonna have. I'm sure Deke McCaskill's gonna be one of them, and he's one of the hometown favorites there.
Well, Deke's coming back to run. Yes, Tommy Lemon. Oh goodness gracious, Michael Moore. I don't want to name people because I don't want to leave anybody out that I should be naming.
So, what other kind of things have you got going on with the series? I mean,